Wow, cool. I'll own, I'm super nervous and super excited and grateful to see you guys. Some are very familiar with the concept of my marble track, and some are not. But I'm going to introduce how track number 3 got started, and it all begins with track number. Well, back in the day, I used to make marble tracks out of Legos, and I quickly decided that they were too bumpy and too steep to make the marbles roll very smoothly for a long time. So I started to use popsicle sticks that allows a much more fine gradient of motion there. And I'm going to share my screen. I made a, wait. I made a video of a marble track that I called marble track number 2, which is actually at Maggie's house, who's here today. And this is me. Can you see the screen with like a young version of me on the screen right now? Yes? Okay. I don't know if you can hear the audio for it, but I'm going to turn the audio down because it's too busy otherwise. This is me stumbling through showing Marble Track 2, which I made during my free time at work here in Japan over about a 6-month period. And I'm in this picture, I'm showing where the big marbles can start and the small marbles can start, and showing how the marbles can roll down the track. And people responded to this video with basically 2 sets of responses, and they're somewhat predictable given the internet. One set of responses was that it was terrible and I wasted my time and it's a piece of junk. And then the other set of responses, and we fast forward here, it just goes on and on and on, these marbles rolling down. And I'll have links to all of these that you can see later if you want to go into more detail. But I'm going to show the responses. People, oops, that's the wrong link. People were responding as here, going, wow, so cool, blah, blah, blah. And then people were responding down here like, oh, it's terrible, blah, blah, blah. Do you have a life, losers, and all this stuff. So fair enough, that's the internet. But people up on the top side here that were saying it's cool were asking, how did you make it? How did you make it? How did you make it? Oh, there's Maggie with the track, actually. That's so cool. I'm gonna let you guys show it later if that's okay. Thank you, thank you. People asking how I made it, I said, well, you start with a piece of wood and then you put 2 sticks on it. You know, I have some pictures here, and so I started thinking about how I can show people on YouTube that you start with a piece of wood and then 2 sticks. And it's like, well, you know, that's not really that cool because it doesn't really fit the YouTube format, right? But I have some old pictures. This is literally, these are the first couple of 4 sticks in a marble here. And this is about an hour later. I had made the landing zone for the next pieces. And if I remember correctly, this is literally the piece of wood that's being shown in Maggie's window right now, and they'll probably show that for us in a little bit. And then a month, I don't remember how much later this was, but you know, some days later, it's slowly growing this track. And so people were asking, how did I make it? And I'm like, it would be cool. Maybe if I had like show a picture or a video of the, let me switch off the share. Oh no, how do we unshare this thing? No, I'm lost. It would be cool to have, wait, to stop share. Here, I'm back. It would be cool to have like a flat plate and then the pieces appear one at a time and it slowly, like a 3D printer, slowly grows to make the marble track. That would show in detail how to make a marble track. And then I was like, but that wouldn't be very realistic. I wanted to really show how do you make a marble track. And so I decided to make a stop motion animation of some characters actually making a marble track. And this is titled my third attempt at making Marble Track 3, which is interesting because I don't remember the other two attempts. But let me share screen again and show this video. You should see a blue, basically all blue screen right now. This is my first attempt at making a video of the construction. That's my rabbit, Rabby, and he has to drag in the board. He steps on this guy, kicks the marble thing back. And so this video was made in 2013. And it's about, I forget how many frames of video or how many frames of pictures it is. But the setup wasn't robust enough, and we'll just go through this video. These guys are, they have this that green character. You can see he has a safety pin. That's a sword that he uses to cut the wood. And I think he might cut some more for us right here. Cut, 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 cut. And they're taking the pieces and put him out on the track. And so this was cool. It's like, okay, it makes sense, but it was really hard for me to reach over to the other side of the track and manipulate things without moving the track itself. Let me cancel this. So I had to, I was thinking in the future, I should put the track on a spindle. Stop share again. Put the thing on a spindle so I can actually rotate it, and then I can reach all different sides of it during the construction. And let me show some frames from behind the scenes here. This is, wait. Sorry, I'm just juggling so much here. This is the camera holder I had for the track that the video that you saw made itself out of chopsticks and popsicle sticks. And that holder wasn't strong enough. It didn't survive as we moved to a new apartment, and it didn't survive. And I lost all the pictures. I think I basically lost that software, the camera, the photos. So that attempt was scuttled. And here's our new location, new house now. I was making this is my version of a more robust tripod to hold the camera. And eventually I was like, nope, that's also not going to be strong enough. So here's the new setup. I have a real tripod you can see on the right. And the scene on the left there is including the spindle to rotate the track. And I wanted to pause at this point if there are any questions that you guys have. I'll stop share again. before I show the actual video of this thing in action. Cool. Welcome, Moto. Misato, yay. Okay, some new people have jumped on as well. Great. All right. So continuing this thing, I did a test video of stop motion with this new camera. So you should see the characters on this rotating stage. And I forget what I was testing because apparently I had, oh no, I remember now. So anyway, this is testing the whole thing. Will it actually work? And it's just a cute video. My fingers are there as I'm rotating the stage and taking photos with the other hand, basically. And then I didn't know how to get the characters off the stage. So I said they should just walk over my hand, and trying to make it as smooth as possible while juggling different things. Then the joke being that that character couldn't get off, so I helped him jump off the stage. So with all of that said, that was the beginning of what's now my not yet finished, but 3 years in the making of this video, which is probably about a quarter finished. So I'm guessing at least 10 more years to go on the thing. But I just wanted to share with you because I love the project. I'm really excited about it. So here's the beginning, starting from nothing. This is how you make a marble track. So first bring in the bottom stage. I had the same trope, the rabbit crushes the guy, hits the camera, and then we get the camera back into focus here. That itself took ages just to move the camera each time because it's on a little like ball and socket joint. And these characters are being slowly introduced. This is little brother. He doesn't know if he can climb on the stage. This is his mom, Candy Mama, who apparently can climb on the stage. This is reversible guy and big brother. And then square head coming in, his head's a little bit square. And then this is Dr. Sugar. He's the manager. You might recognize him from the previous track. And this is Mr. McGlue, who has a long green arm that will deliver glue. The brothers are fighting in the background to represent me and my brother fighting. And then, oh my gosh, there's a skeleton. And everybody runs away from the skeleton. And we go to the next video here. Skeleton is controlling this flying helicopter bearing thing with the little switch in his hand. The characters are all looking at the skeleton, wondering if he's going to move. And as soon as he moves, they all panic and run away, crush Dr. Sugar there in the thing. But Candy Mama wasn't afraid. She's testing out the bearing here and testing high speed, higher speed. Oh, don't touch it, she says. And then she's going to go help Dr. Sugar, while, of course, he jumps up on the stage to not touch it, but get like infinitely close to it. And then they see him, oh, and they panic and they run off the set. And now Dr. Sugar is somehow miraculously fine. Say, turn on the thing, let's play on this. And so they're playing with the switch. And from the movie point of view, I'm showing the audience what the switch is and how it controls the bearing. And they're having fun in the movie. Ha, 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 so funny. And then Candy Mama comes back, hey, get back to work. What are you guys doing? And turns the switch back on. And here's when this video started getting more difficult to make. This pin was very heavy compared to the characters, and she kept falling during the filming. And it took ages to get that scene to be done because the pin is so heavy for them. It took 2 characters to put it back, and then they hit the switch again. And so I'm combining reality and the thing. Let me pause it for a second. Combining the reality that that pin was really, really heavy and stuff kept falling over. So it hit the switch. The thing started spinning around. So anyway, we're back to the switches on, has to go into a higher speed so it can float above the stage. This character is spinning around trying to make sure it doesn't go off the stage. These characters are coming here to wrangle it into place. If you notice, Dr. Sugars was not quite able to hold the hook there, so it's going to get caught in the top wildly spinning thing, and it gets caught and it's slung again. So what was that? So we rewind it. Here's a Matrix version in slow motion of him, his stick getting caught in the hole and did a front flip, but he's okay, don't worry. The stick gets pierced into the wall there, and then clearing out the screws around the side. Now, I made a mistake during all of that, because even as the characters had been wrangling the bearing into place, they, as it landed, it wasn't in the center. And I was like, no. And it took so much time to set up that whole scene. So as the characters are on the right, they're preparing to do whatever they're preparing to do. On the left, you see Mr. Magoo. He is, usually he just glues, but in this one case, I allowed him to use his brute strength and pull the bearing into center. And that's going to happen now. And it squeaks. And the characters are all like, ah, as they can hear this squeaking. There's no audio actually in the movie yet, but that'll be a squealing sound as he pulls it into the actual center, where it can then get screwed into place. So they're putting the screws in place. And the one side, in the background, Mr. Magoo is holding the drill bit to drill the pilot holes for the screws. Candy Mama in the back has just pointed her hand to her right and saying to rotate the stage this way, but on translated to this side, when Squarehead turns the stage to that same direction, it turns the wrong way. He panics, and we'll see what happens. Ready? Here we go. Oh no. And so now it's a little gag as they trip over the switch, and it's spinning wildly around, and they slowly get it back into place. And he finishes drilling the pilot holes for the screws here. Now, finally, the screwdriver can come into play and screw in the screws. The screwdriver itself was amazingly heavy compared to these characters. There was no way I could even attempt to have them hold the screwdriver. So I just have it on a string there, as you can see. And then the screwdriver goes offset, and we're ready for the next thing. Dr. Sugar is telling Candy Mama to make the stage, make the bearing spin faster. No, faster. And so fast that it actually floats the entire stage, so they can move it over, because over the months that I've been filming, that this camera somehow got panned or something to the left, and I wanted to move it back to the right. So now it's in the right spot, and they are ready for my other rabbit to bring in. This is Colleen's rabbit. Thank you, Colleen, for sending me this bunny. Francois for the top stage to come into play. Let's see that again. So Dr. Sugar calling in Francois. Francois doesn't like to stand up, so that took a lot of time to have him stand. And then he kicks the stage. Now, right there at that kick, you can see everything gets jostled. And why might that be? At that kick, I had to take the whole thing off, screw screws from the bottom, drill a new hole, screw screws in the bottom, and do the same pilot hole kind of thing, and drill the screws from the underside of that bearing into the top plate. So that took an hour to do. So that kick is 1 hour of real time that it took. And that's why everything looks like it gets shook around, because everything got shook around there. And so now they're about ready to start making the actual track. There's one marble on the stage. And at this point, I still had, it was, each photo was overly exposed because I didn't know how to use my camera yet. And I still don't, but someone else set it up for me later. Here's the next camera coming into stage, and they have some pieces coming in play here. And so the characters are beginning to develop personalities by this point in the thing. I didn't really have a clear sense of who they were. The little brother is watching the marble, and he wants to be the star all the time. I don't know who it could represent in my life, of course, but they get the first track. This track is literally called the first track because it was the first track that they made. Everyone gets assembled. Here we go, ready, and they roll the track down. Yay, everyone's so excited. And the reversible guy is testing it over and over, and it keeps getting knocked down each time because people bumping into him or something. But this is also showing the audience that this is how it works. And here's the marble rolling down the track. So after this point, it starts to get too crazy. There's multiple characters building multiple tracks. And so I can't narrate everything in real time. That just now, Big Brother kicked the marble off because he's a surly teenager, and he kicked the marble off the stage. Candy Mama is building the other track here. And so it's just, at this point, the characters can walk smoothly over everything. And then at one point, it became apparent that they can't walk smoothly over it. So the characters end up walking through, some characters can walk through wood. See, just there, he walked through the wood because it's easier for me instead of having him climb over everything. Some characters have to climb over, and we may see that later. Dr. Sugar, or that's the same cutter from before. His name is G Choppy now. He's cutting wood as needed, and they're putting this thing into place. What else is happening here? Oh wait, so there's a little gag in the background there. I keep missing it. The character with the green head jumps up onto the marble in a second here. And right there, he jumped, and the marble guy like squirted out from under him and then slowly rolled back and knocked him off the stage. So that's one of the early gags I made during this thing, a visual comedy here. Squarehead is thinking about what to do, and these characters are just busy working. On the right-hand side, the two brothers are in the script. They're looking for bugs. Little brother gets caught on a stick here and finally gets his way through, and they're digging around in the back and doing whatever little brothers do. So that represents me and my brother when we were little. At the same time, they're installing more stuff on the track, and the marble just fell off the stage. They're all looking at it. So the brothers jump up onto the stage while people were looking at where the marble went. And little brother just now, hit the switch, and now he's climbing around and all this stuff. What else is happening? And so it takes even me like multiple times watching to keep track of everything. What else is happening? Everything's happening. I know what just happened. So little brother just fell off the stage in the back. And his big brother, they have a love-hate relationship. So he's spinning, and then little brother fell. Big brother went to check on him, say, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh my God. And then he talks to Mr. Green, said, hey, my brother fell. And then Mr. Green is looking, and then, hey, everybody, little brother fell. And they all go to the back to go see where he is, what happened. At the same time, he's crawling out in the front, and he's like, la, la, la. And they finally see him, like, okay, little brother, we're glad you're fine. Let's get back to work. And the So what else is happening? Flipping around and adding new things. I was trying to show how gymnastic little brother is there. And, oh, I remember that, what that was happening. The stage was supposed to be rotating, but you can see a stick on the right that gets lodged against the back wall. And that literally surprised me turning it until I noticed it. And so Reversible Guy is checking it and seeing what happened. So he goes around to see what it was. At the same time, the stick is coming this way, hits the stage, hits the switch, causes chaos, spinning the stage wildly. And so Candy Mama is there and now very dizzy as the stage has been spinning, and they come to help her get off the stage by flipping the bridge back into place and then let her come off the stage. And now the little brothers, not caring about anything but themselves, are just like, hey, let's play around. And at some point right there, Big Brother pushes little brother off the stage, who then comes up and fights Big Brother. So now they're fighting in the background while the people are working in the foreground. They've suddenly vanished. We don't know where they went, but the construction continues. The track is getting bigger and people have to climb under or over bars, whereas some people can go through them because it's easier for me to narrate, to animate the thing. There's two snakes that just came onto the set that were supposed, I just rewound it some, that were supposed to make it easy to hold something, but the snakes themselves are so hard to animate because they have to be articulated through each of the points of their motion as they go. Takes ages longer than I expected. So the snakes are not going to get used much longer, but they're holding this one stick in place while it had to be glued, because I can't hold it while the glue dries. The characters have to hold it. So the snakes are now curled up on the side here because they were a pain in the patootie to work with. This one snake crawling around the thing, kind of a gag, visual gag, as he's moving the same speed as the stage, opposite direction. He's holding in place that, let me rewind a little bit. That is the triple splitter, which as it comes across here, right there, maybe you can see in the back, it's wider than on this side. As marbles roll down it, the small marbles fall first and the medium marbles fall second, and the large marbles go all the way down that track. So that's called the triple splitter. And it had to be very, very carefully sized. So the snake helped me hold it in place while the glue dried. Now the snake is curling up onto the stick because it was easier to have him just spiraling and not actually moving anywhere, so he can just spin. Here's the last snippet, and it gets even more crazy and complicated as the characters are going on here. G Choppy is helping cut things as I can't even narrate it. It's insanity. And little brother likes to spin. He's spinning and he's going to jump up on the wall in a second here. What else is happening? There's wires to hold characters in place because they were falling a lot otherwise. The snakes. So here's a funny little joke. On the right-hand side, about the rightmost character now is Squarehead. He has an orange and yellow head. He's about to get off the stage and he gets stuck on a stick that's the furthest right at this point. And after he gets stuck, he finally gets down. His character is kind of clumsy. I mean, don't know how else to say. Then the snakes roll off stage and he gets surprised by the snakes. So he's about to get stuck. There he is stuck. The snakes are rolling. They go off stage and he says, whoa, everybody, did you see those snakes? And then this ball comes down here and surprises him. And then he gets run off the set as they're testing the 3 small marbles in a row in sequence there. That also took ages to set up. And little brother has jumped up onto the background. That's going to be a tree in the background once I can do the CGI in the back. to add some kind of background to the thing. Squarehead on the left has now gotten his hand stuck, and this gag continues for months of real time, and he just got unstuck, and now the stage is rotating. He has to run away from the wall, so he's running against the rotation of the stage, and then the stage gets turned the other direction, so he has to stop and run the other direction as all this action is happening, and there's things floating down, and he's trying to get unstuck again and trying not to hit the switch. But the marble hits him, and it hits the switch. It's going fast again now, and so Dr. Sugar stops the stage. He gets knocked over. We're almost at the end, and trying to get Dr. Squarehead unstuck. And was that it? I think there was a little bit more actually, and I just don't have it queued up right now. So I'll stop sharing screen. That's it so far. And thank you guys for watching the chaos here. I see a hand up on Maggie's screen. Is that a question? We're ready for your question. And I just, oh wait. I unmuted you and then you, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
How you move the characters around?
She wonders how you move the characters around.
How we move the characters. That's a very, very good question. The characters are not actually moving, but I move them with my hand about 1 centimeter at a time, and then take a picture of them in the new location. And as the pictures are shown very quickly, it looks like the characters are actually moving. So that's how they're being moved in the video. Thank you for your question. Very important question there.
I have a question too.
Yes.
So how are the marbles going to move when the track is complete? Where is it going to start?
That is a question I don't know the answer yet. Basically, the track is growing upward, and I hope it gets to be about 1 foot or 30 centimeters tall by the time it's finished. So once I get to that point, that's where it will start, but it doesn't exist yet. I don't even have an idea yet of what it will look like, but as the track goes, it'll keep growing up, and then we'll have the answer to your question. Thank you for the question. Any others? Colleen, there's a question.
I think I'm just like kind of amazed by, you would talk about like a little scene like, oh, and then this one was really, it took an extra long time to do because making it move in just this way with this weight or whatever was so difficult. And I'm just like, I don't have the patience for that.
Right.
So I think I'm just sort of like thinking about the total amount of time. Like I know stop motion takes like, it is a big time investment. Yes. But just like watching it like bit by bit, and that, you've worked on it so long, and like, it's amazing how it just made me think of this Parks and Rec episode where the guy is like on summer, he's like out of a job and he starts trying to do a stop motion video, and he's like, I've been working on this for 3 months, and it's like 10 seconds of video, and
right. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah. And so it was just making me think of that, like, kudos to your patience.
Thank you. One of the answers in there, if I remember correctly, it's been about 450 hours of time that I've spent on it over the past 3 years. And one reason I know that number is because I have been live streaming myself doing the animation. And then that will answer our first question. if you guys want to watch the live stream of how it actually happens behind the scenes. So, and yeah, all the live streams amount to 450 hours approximately in total. Yeah. Was there another question on Maggie's side? I'll unmute you guys. Maybe not.
Okay.
Cool.
Katie?
My question is, how do you make the characters?
Ooh, how do I make the characters? I can answer that pretty simply. These are pipe cleaners, or maybe they're art versions. And so I just bend and make a head and like twist them together, and suddenly we have a character. Add some arms to it, and then that's the beginning of a character.
In almost all the child ministry stuff I've done, basically the pipe cleaners and craft sticks are like the two most important things.
Yes. So
You can do so much with them.
yeah. So you guys can certainly make your own characters with pipe cleaners and such. Yes, another question.
I hooked up pipe cleaners already.
She says she knows about pipe cleaners.
Excellent.
I got it.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing what you make with them.
Oh, she lost a tooth yesterday.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Hey Rob, I have a question.
Yes, Di.
What have you learnt making this one or some of the previous ones, either technically or
Yes,
creatively?
I have learned some things. One is, while the stage can rotate, which makes it easier for me to reach the other side of the stage, and that's actually the literal reason that it rotates, so I can reach stuff. But while characters are being suspended by wires, I can no longer rotate the stage. So I really need a way that I can move around the entire thing to access the back, because the guy wires effectively lock the stage in place because they're suspended from the top of the thing. That reminds me, I have another camera. So this is the set as it is now. There's wires hanging from magnets on steel rails there. And I don't know how the red magnet was holding someone, but there's two green magnets that are holding G Choppy here. So he otherwise would fall because he's standing on like a very thin piece of wood there. And so that's one thing that would need to access all sides of the track. And I want to have technically a way to zoom in on specific parts, because there's action that's happening over there that this camera can't see. And at this point, I have only one camera that is able to make video. So I would need to have like a matrix set up with cameras all over the place that are watching the whole thing. At least 4 cameras, and a mobile camera would be fantastic. But I'm kind of locked into exactly this configuration, and I don't technically have a way to change the scene without rebuilding how the set exists at this point. So it's all technical side, what I've learned. Like, I would make it easier to manipulate stuff on the thing. Maggie, is that a question?
Yes.
Yes.
So one of the things I know from the building of the other marble tracks is how frequently you'd have to test sending the marbles down.
That's a good question.
So how much more challenging is that with the characters involved?
It's much, much more challenging because to reset the characters can be an extra of 5 minutes per frame, and in some cases per character if they're like really balanced somewhere. And
Does that
so,
mean you're testing less often?
yes, and so I have actually thought about this today. I guess this track will work less well than the ones that you have because it's not being continuously tested. I hope it works as well. I am testing it, and the parts that are here do work. So I hope it's enough. I have years of experience making it, and I hope I'm able to find the balance between the two.
Yeah, I mean, you've done a lot of work with the toothpicks and the craft sticks.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you have enough failures to have a pretty good idea about what won't work.
Right. Exactly.
I have a question.
Okay. Next question.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, well, it's more like an idea than a question.
Okay.
But it is like maybe you should test it more often off camera.
Oh, he's always testing off.
Yes. But with
that makes sense. So
the
you're
characters are in, I have to reset the character, take them off to test. And so everything is testing off camera for sure. It's a good idea, and you got it exactly. Yeah. Any other questions on this one? I have a question. Maggie, can you guys show the Marble Track 2? The backstory while you guys are setting up, I made a Marble Track starting in my high school days. And I came to Japan choosing not to bring the track with me. So I said, Maggie, can you please hold this track? I'll be back in about a year, maybe 2 years. Colleen's laughing. And Maggie said, sure. 10 years later, I thought, I guess I'm not going to come back. So I made Marble Track 2 as a thank you to Maggie for holding Marble Track 1. I carefully boxed it, sent it via mail to her from Japan, and they're about to show that now. Now, we need to highlight your video, Maggie, so you're spotlighted, and we're ready to let you show it off.
Okay, so I had a girls' trip to Green, Texas, and they had a general store with marbles.
Good.
So
Counter to the left a little bit. They had marbles at the general store.
Yes.
Awesome.
And so I bought a whole bag. There's a couple places where it sticks, but it's pretty good. The big one here.
Nice.
So, drop the blue one again. Please, it's in front of the camera.
There we go. The spiral that it just went down was made as on like a dinner plate and then stretched out and placed onto the track all in one unit.
And if you can see from the top, it looks like it starts in both places. This one is the big marble track, and this one is the little marble track. It has just this one weak spot.
The large marbles affect switches on the track, which change which way the marbles flow down the track.
Yes, and I know that's true of the bigger track here. The bigger track is more reliable from a lower spot.
got some tracks up in here. What is it?
So this is marble track 1, which we're seeing now.
Where was the marble that was on this track? Hand me the one that's on it.
I made the staircase that's visible as an afterthought because I needed to get marbles down the side really quick. So I just built a staircase that stuck out over the side.
Okay. We're back on marble track 2 here.
Yay.
Bill wanted to show that one again.
That's funny. It's that one point.
Colleen, stop, please.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
might not be level.
Well, you know, it's a play table. So, and then something else that's important in the tracks that you may or may not be able to know from witnessing them here is that they, the marbles essentially rely at least a little bit on the momentum that they build up.
Yes, certainly so.
When, where's the light? Where's the light marble?
It should be
Is this
in
it?
there.
So when, I'm not sure that this is the right one. This is not the right one. Where's the other light one? So,
There's some feedback on your side, Mags. I don't know if you can fix it somehow. Like an echo.
just bring that one down. So, I had a little marble that fit this one. Is one of my girls holding it? There's a very light glass one that's smaller than this. Let's see.
And
It's
I
not
had the
on.
same issue all the time. Marble's like, where's that marble?
I know, because a few of them are more reliable. No, it's
Yeah.
light. It's almost. Why did you pick it up? Okay, so but so but the momentum is very tricky on them.
It's the weakest spot.
Yeah, they each have one weak spot on this, on my particular surface here. Oh, I pushed it the wrong way.
That happens.
So part of the reason that I was lucky enough to inherit these from Rob is because whenever I'd go visit his house, I would basically be like, please let us get down the marble track.
I remember that. Yes. I'm thinking it's a date and you're like, let's play with the marble track.
That one went all the way down.
Yay. Awesome.
So do you want to watch this one again from another angle? I'm not sure if it's showing up well or not. You don't know that? I wasn't asking you.
Oh, it wants to get stuck right there.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, because it's having to. Okay.
It looks like it's tilted toward the left from what the camera can see right now. It should be angled a bit toward Maggie's side.
Angled up a little bit, the table's left level.
Yeah, but
What's that here?
I think it'll go if I give it a little push. Because it's trying to go up the hill right there a little bit.
And then the wood may have warped in the years since you've had it.
Yeah, but I mean, I just ran this one like as we were starting, and it was actually doing quite well. Like this one was my most reliable marble.
Oh, wow.
So, Selah, it's one of the tricks of the business here.
Moving fast.
Oh,
No.
I can see some of the switches moving at the bottom.
Mhm.
And there's the first two pieces that were put on the piece of wood.
And I think this one over here, the Marble Truck one, has all the dates on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've started writing dates because the project was taking years and years to
Look at-
continue.
Look, this little flag has a date.
Yeah.
Jill,
Wow.
it's the July 22.
I'm so happy you guys have kept it taking such good care of it. Both
So
of them.
they don't get as much play as the girls would like.
Right.
As they're up on the top shelf.
Understandably so.
So, but
When
they're
you get
still
your
in
driver's
quite good
license, you
shape.
can play with them.
Yeah, because I'm not going to stand for anything bad.
Yeah, thanks, Mags.
There should be one in this one.
I think I'm hoping.
Can I do it?
Hang on.
Santa Claus. I'm doing Santa
Well,
Claus.
It starts here, but it's Mary. Please don't touch the table.
And there's the stairs.
There we go.
Woo!
Yay. We were having trouble there in October. Oh,
Yes.
that's a very good sized marble.
Oh.
Oh no.
You
Interference from the other
probably-
track. I didn't account for that.
That's very big track. There it is.
Great.
And it should go down a different route. I don't remember.
No.
Okay. Thank you, Colleen.
Down here.
Nice.
I mean, I've always admired like the level of satisfaction that you've gotten from this kind of precise work. So, but the stop action is incredible.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm optimistic that the characters can make something with as many switches and such as we're seeing here.
That was a good one.
No marble gets stuck.
If I can, I want to show one switch that exists on this side
Yes.
here.
Wait a second. He's telling us something. Is it-
Girls, can I show you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tell us where.
No, I mean actually on my side, I'm making a new switch.
Oh yes. He's going to
Yes.
show it.
I have to go in a few minutes as well. Okay. Wow, nice light. All right. So I want to turn off your spotlight view and just a moment. Okay. And switch to this other camera. This is the last bit to show. Are we live? Yeah, okay. Can you guys see the track here? Oh gosh, this character, it's mirror image, so I need to turn that off. Video settings, mirror image off, okay. This character is holding this kind of slotted piece. It's made of two different pieces together. It's going to fit around this piece, what can we see? Oh gosh, that's going to get lifted up by the marbles. And so I just pulled it off here. So, sorry, I don't have an extra cameraman here. So the piece will fit in between here to keep it moving in the right direction. Otherwise, it'll get knocked to the left or right. But this will hold it in the right orientation. And so this is the first switch that's being built on this track. And it should be functioning within within a month or two. I guess it'll be tested within the video itself. That's my guess and my hope. And sorry, it seems like it was a little bit blurry, but I hope you could see that. And go to other camera here.
It's about Rob right now.
Yeah. So I'm really, thank you guys for watching. Maggie and girls, thank you for showing the previous tracks. You did a beautiful job for us. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you for taking care of it so well over time. I have to go in a few minutes, but if there's any more questions, this will be a good chance for that. Yes. I saw a hand raised on Maggie's side.
How you make the characters again?
No.
We'll tell you.
You please make some characters and show me what you make. That'll be great. I know you can do it.
We'll send you a picture of one.
Yay. Nice. So
Last video.
as this track continues, I'm eventually looking for people who know how to make music or know how to do CGI stuff, who know how to make website to help augment it. There is a website, but it's kind of not as much as it's not as cool as the track itself. Robert, I saw your comment. Thank you. Mind blowing. Thank you. Thanks for coming to watch as well. It's very great. So if you guys know of people who can do and would like to help add audio somehow, and even looking for ways to build this story arc so the characters can have a life transformation during the construction. So I'm open to ideas there. So yay. Thank you guys. If there's any more questions, go ahead and jump on.
Amazing, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time watching it. And Luis, thank you very much for watching. Yeah. Yay.